Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Loganville Guitar Lessons. Today we're going to be chatting about the musical notes that make up Western music. Western music is what is used in the US as well as Europe and a couple other different countries. We're going to be chatting about where it starts from the beginning note, which is A, all the way down to G sharp, and then how to do it backwards, and then how to go ahead and use that to apply to your fretboard in your guitar playing as well as many other instruments that you might be utilizing now. All right, let's get started. So there are 12 notes in Western music, and they are starting with A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, and then G sharp. Once it goes to G sharp, it just continues all over again with the A. So this might seem a little intimidating at first, and you might ask yourself, how am I supposed to learn all these, Ken? Well, it's really not that hard if you know what you're looking for, and you can utilize some tricks I'm about to show you to make it a lot easier. So, first things first, I want you to notice that there are certain notes that have sharps next to them, which is the thing that looks like a hashtag symbol. And then there are certain notes that do not have sharps next to them. This is where we're going to call out the B and C and the E and the F note. Neither of those have sharps between them. And that's what I like to use to make this process a lot easier. So keeping the tips in mind of the B and C, E and F notes, that as long as you keep those in mind, that those are directly next to each other with no sharps, it makes this a lot easier. So we're going to do this again, and we're going to do it slower, and I'm going to see if you can go ahead, or you're going to see if you can go ahead and call out the notes as we go so you can get it embedded in your head. All right, let's do this. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, and G sharp, and then back to A again. Also, if you haven't, now's a good time to hit that subscribe button so you can be kept updated whenever we put out new videos. Every time one of you guys hits that button, I get a personal notification, and the closer I get to 100, the closer I get to have my own URL at the top, which makes everything a lot nicer looking. So, thank you for your support, and let's keep going. How can you apply this to your instrument? You will want to attach your tuner to your guitar at this time so you can see these examples unfold before you. You will want to ensure that your guitar is set to standard tuning, and standard tuning is as follows. Starting with the thinnest string, which is the furthest one away from you when you're looking down at your fretboard. That is an E string. Working its way back, you have the B string, then you have the G string, then you have the D string, then you have the A string, and then you have the low E string. So, do you remember how we were just chatting about how the E and the F is next to each other? So, if you start on either the low E or the high E string, and you fret the very first note, you will find that that note is an F. After you go to the next fret, you'll find you get an F sharp. From there, G, G sharp, A, etc. So let's move on to the A string. Put your first finger on the fret of the A string and play it. You'll notice it's an A sharp. Then move to the next one. You'll find it's a B. Then move to the next one. Look, it's a C. C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, and G sharp. So on the video earlier, we talked about learning the notes backwards as well, descending, going from G sharp to A. While this is a good practice, if you don't have your ascending portion of it down, it can be a little bit more difficult and seem very intimidating. So I do encourage that you get your ascending down and practice that before trying to do your descending, because you don't want to become overwhelmed with frustration. However, if you're very good at ascending, I strongly suggest this as a practice. In descending order, the notes are G sharp, G, F sharp, F, E, D sharp, D, C sharp, C, B, A sharp, and A. What I suggest doing is starting with G sharp and in increments going backwards, and see where you end up struggling. Everybody will. I found for myself in the beginning that I found right around D sharp, between E and D sharp, is where I struggled. So I would repeat up to that point, stop, repeat up to that point and stop, make sure I got it, and then start from E and work my way backwards, and then get that section down. Then I'd stop and then start at G sharp again and work my way back and see how far back I could. And because I practiced that one particular session, it found my section. It helped me really overcome getting my descending structure down. So just as a quick recap, learning these notes is going to monumentally help you as you move forward in learning music, because you're going to need to reference these things. You're going to need to know what the differences between some of these notes are. And there are more parts to this that we didn't cover today. One of them being how some notes can be called the same thing. So a B sharp can be the same thing as a C flat, but we didn't need to get into that. What we needed to do is get you guys up and running. It does take a long time to do these videos. As you can see, it's nighttime now and I'm still at it. So if you haven't got an opportunity to hit that subscribe button and you liked what went on today, please show some support for the channels, make a comment, do something. I'm Ken with Loganville Guitar, and we'll see you next time.